Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to the second episode of OilTown in City Skylines 2, where we're now witnessing the next set of residents moving to this isolated island. The cruise ship has... Oh, hello, where am I? There I am. Has just embarked... Is that the right word? I don't know what the right word is. Into the harbour, and more people have now got off. This passenger ship will then take a trip back, and there's currently 14 new people waiting at the border to get onto the ferry. Hopefully there'll be a lot more by the time it does get there. Now, guys... If you haven't seen the first episode, I highly recommend going to check it out. But we pretty much set up the bare minimum that we require to begin this OilTown series. Now, the basis of this series is to build this isolated island, this isolated community, this isolated country, pretty much all off the oil industry. Now, I did something very foolish last episode that I completely forgot, and it didn't even cross my mind. I built industry. How are we basing this off the oil industry if I actually have industry? So what I'm going to do, we're going to get rid of the roads. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. We're going to de-zone it all. I am so foolish. The whole point of this series is to base it off the oil industry and have everything imported to the island. Like a fool. What did I did? I did some industry. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another episode. If you are excited for this series, then make sure you smash that like button down below. If you are new around here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when more episodes do come out. But we are back, baby, and our number one goal right now is to try and make a profit, which is a lot more difficult than it seems. Now, because we have no outside connections with road, it means everything happens for us really slow. Getting people to the island is really slow. Getting people to kind of grow the island is really slow. And making a profit is really slow, which means I'm losing extremely high amounts of cash that I need to quickly figure out a way in which we can make some sweet cash money moolah. Now, I've got many ideas to which we can kind of do with this, but it's just implementing them one by one. So, what we're going to do first then? Well, first, we're going to try and play around with some different density of zoning. I went for all low density residential and commercial in the first episode, just to kind of see how it all grows, and it is growing. It's just really slow. I also want to take a look at implementing another oil field, because now we got rid of the industry, they need somewhere to work, and hopefully they will start working here. But there is a lack of high-skilled labour, so we're going to have to put some education needs down as well to kind of bulk things up. And at the same time, public transport. I have a kind of weird feeling about public transport because we don't have anyone driving around just yet. Now, granted, they don't need to drive here, but surely we would have seen a vehicle at this point by now, right? Oh my goodness, Fee, it's got me all kinds of kind of confused. But we're going to see what happens. We are going to see what happens. So what we'll do then, we'll start with just slightly extending this down and building some different types of zoning. And I also want to try and implement an elementary school to give them some base level of education. Now, we're going to have to probably stick with the small elementary school, which is really tiny, so I should be able to squeeze that in. So if I just extend our 4-lane road going down to begin with, I'm not sure where that's going to go, bend, or what it's going to do, but we're going to kind of continue it. Now, I could stick to this grid format, which is not a problem, but I feel like we should do a split at some point. So a 2-2-4... is where we've been going, and then we kind of break it down like this. But I'm feeling a little bit of a split where it changes a little bit. Now, if I go by a 112 and go down this way, right, and then if I just quickly get rid of you, and then bring this to, because that's going to bend away and out, I'm going to do a little bit of a split here and just see how this looks. What happened there, boys? Excuse me, what happened there? I did not sign up to this subscription. Up to you. Bring you up to here. And straight across. There we go. No issues. No issues, boys, no issues. So I'm doing a little bit of a split here where we still keep the alignments and the spacing and the zoning, but we've completely split how the road aligns. And the reason for that is I want to do some row housing, but also at the same time, we're going to implement some pathways so we still have the connectivity all set up. So we still have the grid, but it's in the form of paving. So you still have the walkability going on. For all the residents. Now, from this, we're going to drop a small little school down. So we'll go for the small elementary, which would go... I'm going to place it just... It's an awkward alignment. It's either gets 2 space on one side or 1 space on the other. So I'm going to put it right to the side. Now, what upgrades could I add to it in the future? An extension wing could go there. Or, yeah, actually, it can go there, couldn't it? Well, it could have gone there. Why can it no longer go there? There you go. And then we have the gymnasium. Okay, we're not getting that in. But the extension wing adds an extra 100 capacity. It's not much, but, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So a nice little school in. So that will then give a little bit of education. It does have an overall capacity of 400, which should be enough for now. And then we're going to play around with some different kind of... What is all this? Colossal Tower? Polaris. Has this always been in here? Oh, I'm on signature buildings. Okay. I thought I was on zoning. Oh my goodness me. Also, someone said, Josiniak, do you know about the wind? Yes, guys, I know about the wind. I know the oil industry is going to be pumping into the wind, which is why it's more important that we eventually start moving everything. Don't worry about the wind, boys, okay? Don't worry about the wind. It adds an extra set of challenges to this whole scenario. Right, anyway, residential. So we're going to go for this row housing to begin with. I feel like it will be quite nice to squeeze some of this in. Just to slightly... Whoa, what's going on with the road over here? The road sometimes is weird. There we go. So we're going to start with building some row housing here. So if I just do a zone there and then a zone here. So once you get the edges in, you can then pretty much fill all this up. And then the row housing will slowly build itself in there. Now, what I like about row housing is you can, like, also set up little paths to go between the back of it. But we'll leave it like that to begin with. And then we're going to play around with some... That's medium density. We have some low rent housing that maybe I'm going to start squeezing in around here. So if I just fill this gap up here and just let them build how they want to build it. I'm not quite sure if that is... If they can build like a little 2 gap, I don't know whether they'll change something. But let them do what they've got to do. So a couple of different kind of densities in buildings there. We'll kind of see what that changes for us. Now, is that the passenger ship on the way back? It's got 28 people on the way back right now. That's pretty good. So we are now starting to ramp up slightly. But we are not seeing any vehicles just yet. Now, we've got 1 resident, which is great. Very good. Have anybody... Oh, hello. We've got an oil well. So does that mean we got an employee? We've got 2. Oh, nice. Nice. So we are now getting somewhere. We are now getting slightly somewhere. Now, because we have no normal industry, it means all the jobs getting taken will come from the oil industry. But also, they'll take jobs from the service buildings we place down, like the cargo harbour, the school and stuff like that. And also from commercial as well. So that's where you'll see all these things happen. Any goods that we need, we have to import them, which becomes a lot more expensive for our city, our community, our country. Now, when it comes to pollution, I know you lot of guys are pretty much worried about the air pollution. And it is going to warp itself around. But as soon as we've unlocked more tiles, we'll then start repositioning our oil industry in other areas. I'm not going to completely build all the residential on this side. Don't worry about that. We'll expand it and move it around. It's just until I've got enough tiles pretty much unlocked and we can invest in these industries. Right, so we've got that in. We'll see how this goes. I'm quite intrigued and interested to see how these different zoning of buildings will change things. And... at the same time, I'm thinking implementing a little bit of public transport. Now, it would be really stupid of me right now to implement public transport when we're losing so much cash and we need to, you know, recuperate some of the money back. So the cheapest form I could pretty much add in would probably be taxis. A bus depot is 15,000, let alone the bus stations and, you know, and all that kind of jazz. 7,000 for taxis. Because it's such a small community to begin with, I think the radius for where taxis can drive would be absolutely perfect. Now, what I could do is implement and upgrade this to include, I believe it is a transit terminal, an integrated, there we go, I can't even English, what's going on? Bus station and taxi stand, which is perfect for us. So how much more money is that? 20 grand. It's ridiculous, isn't it? It is ridiculous. Right, we'll just see how taxis go first before we implement anything else. So, taxi depot. I could build the taxi depot around here. I could build it here. I could build it in here. What does a taxi depot do? It's a garage repair workshop. Also houses a small dispatch office. Can be upgraded with extra garage, dispatch center, and electric taxis. So, they don't really go here. But we can put taxi stands and stuff down. So if I was to implement then, for example, the taxi stand, I can just put it here for now just so it's slightly out the way of anything, right? We need somewhere for the taxis to pick people up from. Because without it, it's pretty much pointless. Now, I could implement a dispatch center to allow taxi pick up passengers from all over the city, not just dedicated taxi stands. That's an extra 6 grand a month. That works out for us. Now, we will need people working here, obviously, otherwise it would be a bit of a shambles. But we are going to get some dedicated pickup spots to help us out. So, the taxi shelter, I'm going to implement, let's implement just here, because it's cheaper building that than integrating the transit connection for us. I'll implement one here by the commercial, which I'm actually going to put it there, because we are going to spread the commercial down, so we'll kind of put it in the center. And then we'll do a one there, and I reckon we'll do like a little taxi stand by the school, and I'll do one at the very end just over here. So it's within the radius, you know what I mean? It's within the radius. Now taxis will park in the stands, which is great, and then we'll have to wait for people to start using them. We do have 2 employees already, so that's pretty good. But I've just made things so much more expensive for us. So let's have a little bit of fast forward then. Let's try and get some time to now pass. It's apparently summer and it's raining. Like, how does that work? You know what I mean? But for the first time ever, we now have vehicles driving around in the form of taxis. Where are you going? Did you just pick someone up? Oh, wow, we got an actual passenger on board. And there's people walking around. I'm showing the people what a vehicle looks like, and they might want to buy a vehicle themselves in the future. Wow, that was good service. Not just dropping off to their street, but to their front door. That was real good service. Right, guys, that's what a vehicle looks like. You can also buy them yourself and make the city feel a little bit more alive, if you know what I mean. Oh, my goodness me. But more and more buildings are now building, which is great. That passenger ship is on the way back right now. It's taking 1 person away. And there is 32 people ready to be picked up at this point. And that number should hopefully still increase. 35 now. So we are going to go over 100 people living on the island shortly. Which is glorious. Absolutely glorious. Now, although we don't have any vehicles, do you reckon it's worth it as well to implement or start implementing some parking lots? Car parks? It might, you know, guys, look, you could park your vehicle here right now. Buy one. You know what I mean? What am I going to do to make them buy a vehicle? Or could this be an issue with the fact that we don't have an outside road connection? Maybe only vehicles only enter the region via roads? I don't know. It's going to be an intriguing one, but we're going to continue anyway with the expansions. Now, we're going to bring our roads up because obviously your boy wants to create some cul-de-sacs. I'm not too sure how far I'll take these cul-de-sacs, but bringing you up to there. This one only so far because the the way it's all now turning. So a few little cul-de-sacs there. Don't make some longer than others. I can maybe bring you up a little bit more and then you up even more. So it's all nicely staggered. Okay, you know what? That looks pretty cool. We'll go with it. We will go with it. And then we can build some more residential expanding off it. But I'll wait till they've kind of built up in all the zoning I've done already. So we have now literally no zoning demand for residential at all. We have 2 people working at the oil refinery right now. Which does produces crude oil. So I'm fully expecting at some point to see some exports from the crude oil. Crude oil exports, yes. Great. But how are they getting it to the cargo place? That's what I would like to know. That's what I would like to know. I'm going to build a second one. And hopefully this is the beginning of building up the oil industry. So, oil drilling, and I'll put this building a little bit different. We'll put it in the middle and see what the difference would be like. So I might have to utilize the anarchy to get past the radius of what it ultimately gives me. There we go. So we now have 2 oil zoning areas pretty much set up. Very good. And I have over 100 people living on the island. Nice. Nice. So 100 people are not going to pay for my deficit. Now, is there any budgets we could potentially drop a bit more? Electricity, I could drop it to 50. Water and sewage, pretty good. Education, we'll drop to 50 as well. There's not that many people who need education. We've got transportation at 50%. We've got parks. We'll put that down to 50%. Communications, we'll put that at 50%. We're dropping everything so we can literally pay the minimum out to save the most amount of cash. But we do need more people living here. Now, the lack of labour is starting to fill up with the commercial. There's now pretty much all the jobs available. Oh, no electric. Okay, maybe... Oh. We have an overload. Right, okay. We have a slight overload, boys. Bring you down to there. Are you all good now? No more overload? Or is it the budget? I think it might be the budget that's like... Okay, right. We'll put the electricity back to 60. Right, okay. Right. It has to be 60 for those guys. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, how many people are working here? There is no one there. There is 3 people there. But I think the commercial is entry-level jobs. So I think we might just build a bit more commercial down now, because we do have quite a bit of demand for it. But because of the type of industry, the type of jobs that oil wells need, it's a bit of a tough one, isn't it? It is a bit of a tough one. It's educated, it's poorly educated. It is some uneducated, but I think they're choosing the commercial over the oil to begin with. Now, we've got 117 people on the island currently. This is now going back, and there is 18 people already waiting as it's going and heading back. We are filling up more of the buildings, but at some point we are going to create different types of demands once we start getting a fair few amount of people living here. My only question is, do I have enough money in reserves to see me through the losses I'm making an hour before I do make a profit? That's going to be difficult. That's going to be real difficult. Right, the commercial's now building. How is the school looking? 7. Very good, very good. And I don't want to build any of the services yet, like garbage needs or policing or hospital, until they really start demanding it. Because if I can save some, the longer I can save some pennies, the better. You know what I mean? It won't last long, but we'll see what we can do. There's the sewage right now. It's starting to pollute. And where was we sucking? Yeah, there we go. That's where we're sucking the water up from. Now, what's the issue over here? The lack of labour. Although it has 29 employees, there is still a lack of labour. Now, there's the passenger line ship bringing 20 people back. Very good, very good. It's a slow process. A very slow process. So, any demand, because we have all the zoning down now, any demand that does kind of spiral in will instantly be spent. So, while it feels like I've got no demand, what we don't realise is we're constantly spending the demand. Is what we're doing. So, we just have to play the waiting game, boys. Taxis driving around like crazy. Another passenger line ship coming in. Now, do they walk or are they... Oh, no, they're actually going to the taxi rank. Because there's still people here, standing here from the previous one. I mean, there is one person in the background right now walking. But these guys are waiting for the taxi. They're like, you've seen the line for the taxis? Forget that. So, yeah. We do have the ability to have up to 20 vehicles in use. But I'm assuming it's a case of we need more employees working here. But that will come with time. We're on the way up to 150 at some point. Right, they just dropped some people off. Who have now just gone and waited here. Oh no, they're walking through. Dropping people off. Does nobody want to be picked up? Might have to start sorting out some buses, boys. That's what we'll have to start doing. Right, any new buildings built? Oh, we filled up all this little area here, which is great. That's great to see right now. So we've got a few little gaps still available. 142 people currently on the island. This is going back right now to pick up another 23. Right, so far, so good. So far, so good, boys. So, now we're getting our first building, demanding a little bit of medical attention. Now, how much? From 10 to 24 grand, depending on what we do with the medical clinic. I could implement said clinic. I'll put it right next to the school. Now, that's instantly going to send out an ambulance. No one works here at this moment in time, but we have a medical clinic, which now all of a sudden we've started to then see a little bit more growth in the residential buildings. But it is also adding on to my hourly expenses. Now, again, I can reduce the healthcare services to 50%. Drop that budget down dramatically with gone employees. And it should, you know, inject, is that the correct term to use for the medical industry? A little bit of life, that's the better term, isn't it? Into the economy. I'm using all the terms, boys. Oh, is that 2 passenger lines? One's purely got to be going not to us, right? Yeah, one's just passing through. Had over 1,000 people on. Could you imagine if that was coming to us? 37, is that the most we've ever seen so far? Whoa, this is going to push us over 200 residents. I'm all here for this, boys. But the fact that more residential buildings grew shows us that we are still somewhat getting demand. There will be a light switch at some point where it all just kind of, the economy just takes over and then we just have like normal growth. It's just getting to that point, which is a little bit difficult. Yes. Right. More people here. Taxis driving round. Now, do we make any cash from the taxis? So, transportation, we are getting fees, which have now literally just disappeared in thin air. Right, that's hilarious. We're making nearly 10 grand then before it all just disappeared on us. Oh, it came back. Where'd it go? 7,800. That's got to be from taxi fees, right? Now, I'm not charging, I don't think, for people using the ship line. It's free. I could start charging, and I could put in $12 just to see what happens. Right? Some money's better than no money. I don't think you can charge per taxi. That's just what it is. And you can't do any pricing with the cargo either. So that's just what it is. I can't really do anything about that, unfortunately. But maybe this is another sign of why it's also maybe... Oh, I think a light switch has just flipped in my head. Maybe I don't want them to use vehicles, because it means they have to then pay for a taxi. Hold on, what are you? What are you? Is this a vehicle? It's a delivery motorbike. Is that how they're delivering cargo on motorbikes? Wait. What's going on? Where's the tracks? Wow. They're delivering cargo on motorbikes. There's another one as well. You are returning. It can carry 0.1 of a ton. Even that feels like a lot, doesn't it? Even that feels like a lot. That's crazy. But now the cargo harbor's no longer complaining, right? We now have office demand. So, okay, here's the question, guys. Here's the question I'm going to ask you guys. If this series, just like the original OilTown series in City Skylines 1, this is obviously going to be a replica, where we build everything, right, and the only industry I use is the oil industry. Am I allowed to build offices? Let me know in the comment section down below. I would like you guys to have your thoughts on that. I would be quite interested to know if I'm able to build offices. It's not industry in terms of what you would normally expect industry to be like. That's now got 8 employees. That's got 13. We're starting to build up a bit. They will also need to level up as well. So yeah, let me know if offices count. 49 people were just on that ship right there. So I've now got over 200 people living on the island, which is amazing. My services in terms of transportation, okay, that number is no longer showing. I can increase the taxation if I really need to make a few extra pennies. And production-wise, we are exporting and we're making a revenue off that. I think we are. I'm assuming we are. Yeah. I can borrow money, but we need to sort out this deficit. I've got another year. I've got 12 months before I'm bankrupt at this current rate. I really do. I really do. So, some houses are upgrading. I just seen a little upgrade sign go on there, which is great. Right. What else could we do right now to spark a little bit more growth? Now, I could build some signature buildings as well. I could slowly get some of these down. These will increase well-being within the area. Now, seeing as we got tall buildings here, is there any of the tall buildings that would kind of fit in? They're way too big. We have some row housing buildings. I'm sure I've got like some row housing buildings I can build here. There is 1, 2. There's 2 of them I can build. That's way too big. So I could maybe just kind of pick up 2 little spots here where I can incorporate 2 of the row house signature buildings, which will increase the well-being within the area. Now, it doesn't cost me anything. Right, it doesn't cost me anything at all. Nothing to maintain or upkeep it. Just a nice little bonus and boost, and does provide room for housing. So maybe I can apply that with the commercial as well. We have a steam line diner. We have the food station. The one-stop station. These are way too big for what I want them to be. I also have the combo building and store underneath. All right, these are a little bit too out of place right now. We'll just kind of see how what they do for us and how we get on with them. We'll keep it like that for now. We'll keep it like that for now. So, passenger lines on the way back, 32 people. We're now starting to ramp up a little bit with the amount of people it is bringing over. The numbers are definitely increasing. They are definitely increasing. Now, how long until I need to build up these? I think once these are completely maxed out. What's unemployment like? Unemployment's at 1.3%. We don't need to worry at this moment in time. We don't need to worry. Also, if any commercial demand kicks in, it will instantly get spent anyway. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So what's their biggest complaints? Unreliable healthcare coverage, which I get it. I did reduce the budget. But at the same time, right? What are you guys worrying for? You know what I mean? There's 25 patient availability. Use it. Use it, you fools. Right. Oh, now we're going to have some trash issues with garbage. Right, okay. So what would trash be in terms of payments? A landfill site? 15,000 big ones. Oh my goodness me. It's something that I'm going to have to get in. But it's a case of where do I implement it? Because wherever I build it, it's going to pump the wind over, which is very hilarious at this point. So that will obviously go over that way. I could maybe build it on the very edge. Obviously, building it downwind is the best way to go about it. So maybe I build a little bit of a landfill site just over here. Just for now. So if I come off this road and then just go slightly up. And let's just build it to there. It hasn't got to do anything special, anything fancy. A little bit of a landfill site. This building's actually quite big, isn't it? And if I just kind of come down to there. A 700-ton capacity. That should be more than enough. That should be more than enough for me. Oh, do I see trucks? Oh no, they're garbage trucks. I thought they were normal trucks. So that was sort out the garbage then. So now we're starting to implement city services, but my big fear is that I'm also increasing the amount of money that I'm spending without seeing any real benefits coming back in. Right, a few more buildings are now being built. Upgrades are now happening as we are implementing those city services. Right, okay. How many people living in these? There's a few people living in those high-rise buildings. But I think we have to kind of face the fact that we're going to have to sit through some pain of slow growth until we've got enough people living here to really make a difference. Now, what I could try is the services, is the transportation budget to 100%. Now, that's going to scream a lot of money at me. But I want to see if that changes anything in terms of the ships bringing more people here. I don't know if that changed anything right now. We'll see what that does. We'll see if it does anything. Theoretically, we'll see if it does anything. I'm now losing 23,000 big ones an hour. So that budget needs to be reduced as quick as I can. Oh, who are you? Hello? Hello? A delivery vehicle. So the owner is Pelican Biofuel, which is over here. Just had a delivery of petrochemicals from... Hold on. Oil refinery or oil well place, if you want to call it, for the crude oil. Damn. So I've just delivered fuel to a gas station, even though none of the residents have vehicles. Maybe we're just refueling all the taxis and the recycling trucks. Maybe that's how it's working. But you can kind of slowly start... Oh, hello. Hello. Who are you? So you're delivering wood to the destination of here. House, wealth, wretched. Why do you need wood? Are you building a new shed in your garden? Is that what's going on? Maybe that's what's going on. But we actually now starting to see a little bit more life. Cargo vehicles are now making appearance. That's not because I increased my budget, is it? It can't be, right? It can't be. So passenger ship, there is 37 people there. Let's see how many more it picks up. 34. I don't see it being much of a difference increasing the budget to increase that. So I might just drop the budget back down because it is very expensive. Bam. Very expensive, boys. Very, very, very expensive. Now, you cannot connect to the internet. You're losing your mind. Do not worry. So, no demand from residential right now. We are really waiting. Their biggest complaints are still the unreliable healthcare coverage, the high electricity fees, and all that jazz, unreliable internet. It's all stuff that I've done artificially because I've reduced the budgets. So nothing really much is going to happen. More people getting off right now. Oh, hello. There's a blast hole drill. Getting ready to drill some more holes. So these will eventually start leveling up at some point, I'm assuming. Because there's a lot more now going on with a lot more employees, stuff's going to start changing. Now, should I be worried that I can't make enough cash? Yes, I should be very, very, very worried. But it is a case of we have to sit and do a lot of waiting. This is what happens when you rely on one technique. And before you say, Seniac, build a road to the border. No, that's not the point of this. That's cheating. That's cheating. I can't do it. I can't do it. Right, let's take a look then, see what I could also implement to kind of help me. Now, industry buildings. Technically, you could argue I'm able to build something like a fuel plant because... and an oil refinery, they're based on the oil industry, okay? Now, that gives me a bunch of boosts, but I don't know whether it's wise to do it right now because they're very, very big buildings. They really are. They really are. Now, the famous rock musician mansion, I might implement now and build it right here. We've got the film actors mansion. So in these little dead triangle sections is probably the best option for them. And the painters mansion as well. So I might implement you just here. Very nice. Very nice. All looking out to the sea. Or adding a nice little bit of a well-being boost. They've got to be loving that. They've got to be loving that. And hopefully in return, that's now making my population go 3 pluses, 3 up arrows. That's how crazy it's now becoming. Passenger ship, 36 on the way in. So we are slowly climbing. We are slowly climbing. Right, have any more houses been built out of the question? Or is it a case of we have to fill up the current capacity before they decide to build some more? Maybe that's what it is? Maybe. Now, let me check my city statistics. Money's dropping down, obviously. Income-wise, though, my income is increasing as time goes on. You can't argue that. My expenses... ooh, are pretty much plateaued, if in reality, right? Yeah. Crime rate, education is getting better. Public transport is going down. Okay, okay. I think that's the cargo, isn't it? Yeah, that's the ship cargo because we have pretty much everything that we need. Population of citizens is increasing. So is the households. So is the age. Population growth is definitely increasing. We now starting to get, we had a little bit of birth rate coming in. So that's good. Jobs. Unemployment. Up and down. It's pretty high right now. Businesses, trade. So there's the line there. It's what we're buying versus what we're exporting. It's pretty much how it is. So, would you say we're on the right tracks? We're losing 16,000. We'll see. Everyone's super happy, though. Everyone is super happy. We'll see how things go. Now, where's the next ship? That ship's now disappearing. We've got an extra 20 people at this moment in time waiting to be picked up. We have 350 people living here, so we have added almost 300 new people to the island this episode alone. So I can't complain too much. We are moving in the right direction. We are. It's just everything else is very, 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 very expensive. Now, this is expensive. I could turn this building off at any point and then turn it back on when I need the goods. But we'll kind of just keep going until I'm really panicking. That's how we'll do it. So, roads, parking. There's no way in this world that we're able to get any parking in because there's no vehicles. But I could implement a car park scenario there. I could implement another one. Let's go for a slightly bigger one. That's way too big, right? There. Is this the same one? Let me delete that one. And put you back in. There we go. So we've got 2 car parks in. Now, we'll charge top dollar. Now, they're not going to be used because we have no vehicles, but I'm trying to make everyone a little bit eager to use vehicles. Now, if it turns out we can only get vehicles from utilizing outside connections, then that's going to be a bit of a pain for us. That really is. That really is. We'll see what happens. Now, we got a little bit, somebody who's requiring a bit of death care, which is going to be a very, very big issue for us. Right, we got power issues right now. So we need to now start upping our budget. So electricity, I'm going to up it by another 10%. Is that enough to, yep, sort those issues out? Now, it's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. Right, we're on the way to 400 residents. That cruise ship has just left, and there's 25 people already waiting on the way back. You just got a delivery. I'm not sure what you got a delivery of, but you just got a delivery. I think some more wood just got delivered. Oh my goodness me. Right. How are we looking? Pretty good. Any pollution from the wind? It's slowly starting to happen, as you can see. It's slowly pumping out. It shouldn't be too much. And as it comes through, it'll just cover this slight area there. So, I don't think too much to worry about just yet. Right, can we push 400 residents then? Is our next goal. There is 33 people waiting. That should be more than enough. But I think we've got a lot of buildings right now, especially with, like, the signature buildings that I just put in. And these big buildings over here. There's so many spaces available that I don't think we'll have to wait until we fill those before we start getting more residential demand coming in. That's how I feel, anyway. That is literally how I feel. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, boys. So no point me doing any more zoning, because the zoning's all there. Not a fat lot we can do about that. And I don't really want to spend any more. I don't think there's anything else I can implement that will be a money maker for me. There is actually nothing else I can implement that will be a money maker for us. Now, in City Skylines 1, one of the ways in which I kind of adjusted to these scenarios is I would build a city park in the middle, and I would make the ticket price be insane, but make it to a point where they have to walk through it. And that is one way you made enough money to turn a profit. But we can't quite do it in City Skylines 2, which, again, is a bit of a pain, but does add to the challenge. It does add to the challenge. So the boat's unloaded then. We've now officially got over 400 people living in the island. And we are seeing big improvements. We are starting to see stuff happen. So it could be a good idea to implement more ships, but the other side of it is there's not that many people even waiting here. Now, adding an additional ship would add... So to modify the number of ships, newly assigned vehicles not actively until they reach maintenance. Attention line numbers just to change the budget. Yeah. So adding more ships, is that going to cost me more money? So services, transportation, let's just call it 250,000. Okay. If I was to add a second ship, right? No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't gone cheaper. What are you talking about? I might build a secondary line this way, just on the off chance. Passenger ship tool. We could get 2 routes coming in. For the passenger line. So the second ship line, which has 3 on, we only put 2 on it. Also charge $12. So there's two additional city connections, technically, that we've got coming in for the passenger line. So this will be interesting. It increases the rate of people getting here. I don't know how much it would change. More of them houses over here have been built. I don't know how it would change anything else. It's going to be interesting. It will be. I've now got 4 cargo ships, which hasn't changed anything in terms of transportation. So I don't think you pay more. I think if you up the budget, you'd get more. It just literally changes how many public transport vehicles are currently in use. That's all it does. Right. Okay. Okay. And that would also affect the cargo as well, but the cargo doesn't really mean much to me. So this is interesting right now. I get to finally see how they come in and out of this place. I think they drive in there. I think I've got it set up right, if I'm not mistaken. I think I do. But this could really make us push 500 residents pretty rapidly. Now, garbage, which is here. I haven't reduced this budget, but I'm going to. And see how that affects things. That should make things a little bit cheaper for us. We was at 16,000. Now I've got it down to 14,008. So we've made progress. Doesn't feel like it, but we've made some form of progress. Now we will get to a point where all the buildings that we currently have are filled with residents. It is a slow progress, obviously. But on that point there, we'll then start demanding more residential. So that time will happen. It's just patience. A lot of patience. We need a lot of patience. Or it could be that the game is just screaming out for some industry zoning. So that could be also the other side of it too. I could fake it in terms of going ahead and doing some zoning. So if I did this and offices, right, just very quickly to get rid of the demands. And then de-zoned it all. And let it all disappear. Did it spike? Oh, I wouldn't say it spiked residential growth. But that did happen the same time I did that. Who knows? Who knows? Right. Passenger ships. Keep it coming. Keep bringing in the residents. And I am seeing a little bit of residential growth there. So eventually, once I got more demand, I have to delete the building so they grow the bigger variations of the building. Is that a way in which I can try this? Maybe that's how I can try and create growth spurts. Is to fake it till we make it. It's to promise services and then take them services away. Oh, I'm a legit mayor, aren't I? I'm a legit mayor. Right, there we go. Take them away. Take them away, please. And look at that residential demand now growing. So that is the medium demand, by the way, which is all of this here. That actually tricked the game into growing a bit more. Yes, it did. I don't know if that's ethical, but it worked. It worked. Can we get over 500 people? Oh, we're having a big growth spurt now. Right. Ships are coming in. There's people on these ships. We should push. Oh, I thought you were coming to me then with like 500 people on board. We should push at some point 500 residents. All these new houses are now being built, which is great. And demand is increasing. So you're not maxed out with employees yet. So until they're maxed out with employees, I won't really build anymore. Is my deficit 12? So we were 16,000. Now it's 12,600. So now I feel like the switch has just happened. I think either we've created a switch or the game switched itself or a bit of both. But now they're starting to build in the zoning, which is perfect. It's exactly what we want them to do. We're going to surpass 500 residents very shortly. Very shortly. And will they grow any more after they've built all of these? Or is that the demand all done? I want to wait till these two buildings here that are currently being built are completely finished. We've got over 500 residents. Oh my goodness me. Oh, there we go. You've just been built. We've almost built on all of our residential zoning. It's nice to see that we got that bit of medium demand, though, we can also utilize. This is real good. This is real good. So if I trick it again, I'm assuming this is how it's working. But if I do you and you, because obviously it drops the demand and then increases the residential. But we get rid of it all, obviously. And then, yeah, it grows more. I feel like this is not ethical. I feel like this is wrong. But it's working. Sometimes you've got to do what you've got to do to make the game work. Okay? You've got to do what you've got to do sometimes, boys. Now, we're down to 13,000. Hopefully it should increase a bit more. We are using more services and all that kind of jazz. Bringing more people in. Very, very good. Very, very good. We are gonna start needing, like, you know, police stations, fire depot stations, crematoriums and cemeteries. We're going to start needing all that stuff shortly, but we've surpassed the 500 resident mark, which that is a big deal, okay? It is a big deal. It's a real big deal. Now, I wonder if that little bit of medium demand we've got, we can do some medium density housing. Now, I'll put some medium density zoning there. Just on the off chance that we could maybe build some in. I'm going to do all of this industry. And straight away, they're on it. Straight away, they're on it, boys. Right, get rid of it. Get rid. Give me more people. Right, I think I've just figured out how to grow the city. But nobody wants to use vehicles, which could be a blessing in disguise for me. It could mean minimal traffic on this island, and it could then mean that everybody needs to maximize and utilize public transport, which means even more money for me in the long run. So it could be a blessing in disguise that we get no vehicles. It's just a pain with how slow the city growth is. But that's fine. I can deal with that. We can deal with it. Right, new households being built. New people being moved in. Oil industries all up and running. And we have added 500 residents in this episode alone. It hasn't felt like progress, but when I say it like that, we've made a bunch of progress. Now, the goal is still to try and make profit. We've got it from losing 16,000 big ones an hour to then to the lows of 11,000. Now we're back up to 13, so I'm not sure how that's happened. But yes, I'm seeing progression. It's slow progression, but I'm seeing progression. Guys, we're going to end it here. Hope you did enjoy this. If you got any tricks or tips for me for how I can make some additional cash, let me know in the comment section down below. But until next time, I will see you all soon. So goodbye.